Hey, guys. It is Old Man G here. Oops, so I've got I always do that. It's Old Man G here back again with some breaking news. Obviously, well, breaking, it's been for a while, but I wanted to go live. I know, obviously, the Copenhagen United game is coming soon, and we're going to be talking about the starting lineup. But before we actually get into that, I'm joined by Tom, or Transfer Tom, as he's now being called. It's now Transfer Tom, who actually people tuned into the show. If people tuned into the show yesterday, the preview show, you'd be very much aware that it was Transfer Tom over here to my right, who actually said that there was going to be a big announcement from the Dortmund side tomorrow. And there was a big announcement from the Dortmund side tomorrow. And obviously, Tom, if you want to just sort of just highlight what that news was, or this is the tweet basically, but just talk us through it if you can.
Yeah, well, pretty much. Basically, I got told by a couple of sources that work closely with the company and that have reported on deals from Germany and stuff. They've reported on, say, Chong might be going out on loan and stuff, and the Jadon Sancho deal was the main topic, really, from Germany. And they said that Michael Zorc was going away with Borussia Dortmund on their, should we say, like training camp to Switzerland, and he was going to make an announcement on some sort of like media. Like he asked personally to speak to reporters and everything at the pre-season like conference, should we say, where the manager was there and everything, and he said his piece and everything. I didn't actually know about what it was going to be about or anything. Nobody really knew about. Fabrizio Romano was an amazing guy, credible journalist. He didn't know about anything. He just knew that there was going to be an announcement, and it got obviously made at around about 3:34ish o'clock a couple of hours ago. That basically Michael Zorc has said that Jadon Sancho is much in Borussia Dortmund's plans at the moment, and that he'll play for them next season. And hopefully that answers a lot of the reporters and journalists' questions. But there's a couple of, obviously, theories, should we say, on how this is. And he's come out with saying that also that there's a secret, should we say, contract that got basically another year added on to Jadon Sancho's contract last summer, which puts him on his contract now until 2023. Which nobody even knew about that. So that was obviously something that got reported out. But it's mainly the whole press conference really got dominated by the Jadon Sancho talk. And I think that's why Michael Zorc asked to actually be on it, because he's the man who's behind all this from Dortmund's end of it.
Yeah, no, I mean it's crazy. It really is. Obviously, Fritzy, thanks for giving a summary transfer, Tom. Mostly Fabrizio Romano summarizing the word, saying we plan on Jadon Sancho play with us next season, and I think that answers all the questions. And the reality, obviously, is that this puts Manchester United in a interesting situation in that the ball is in their court now. Obviously, it's already been highlighted several times that Michael Falk said this obviously with the Muslim Dembele transfer. He also said this obviously with Aubameyang, and obviously those two players end up leaving Borussia Dortmund. So it doesn't necessarily mean that's not the case. Obviously, United could decide, okay, screw it, we're going to pay the money, and of course Jadon Sancho would go. But the reality is that there's other two players put in transfer requests and possibly try to force a move. Certainly, I know that Ousmane Dembele did by not turning up to training, but Jadon Sancho doesn't appear to be that type of character. I don't think he would force the move. So what would you say are really now the chances of Manchester United really getting Sancho this summer, if at all?
Well, like I said yesterday, I think, I said that there were going to be a big announcement that would surprise a lot of people, and it's obviously massively surprised people. I can tell by yourself, G, obviously, a lifelong Red and everything. It's took you by surprise with such an announcement. Obviously, Michael Zorc coming out saying that, he's going to be our player next year, but let's just backtrack a minute. A couple of weeks ago, he was saying that Jadon Sancho, you either pay 120 million euros, which is the fee that we want, and you use the instalment payments that we want, or he will be a Borussia Dortmund player. So there is negotiations there at the table for Jadon Sancho. Man United, I think the circumstances surrounding Man United are, I think Man United have not stalled the deal, but they've took like a back seat just to reassess the situation, because we've got to think 120 million euros in the market right now, with such as the pandemic and everything, and the financial effect on football clubs. It's a lot of money to shed out when you actually think about it.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree.
Player,
I mean,
this is just one. This isn't three or four. It's just one player. Yeah. Go on.
No, no, I actually agree with that. So and as I said on the show last night, so there was a part of me that was a little bit concerned that getting Sancho and obviously the potential wages that he might demand, that might cause some potential dressing room unrest. Not to mention the fact that if we were to sign Sancho with that money, then chances of us getting any other additional signings were going to be minimal, to be honest. So the reality is that, for me, my concern here really is that, if I'm not like a lot of United fans who think that if we don't get Sancho, Chris Mateague, obviously in the comments. Sorry, I'll get to your comments in a second. But shout out to Chris Mateague. Thank you so much for joining in, and Sport Gossip as well. Chris Mateague, it's the same with almost every transfer you make. Drag it out for months and eventually pay up. That is true. Sports Gossip says, shambles of a club, go for other positions. We need new players. I mean, so this is the thing. So it's kind of what I'm saying, in that, like, a part of me just sort of thinks, okay, I don't want us to be the club that if we don't get our first target, we just fall apart. And that seems to be the thing with Manchester United, is that, okay, if we can't get Sancho this summer, then and right wing is a priority, then we need to find suitable replacements, and not only for that, but for other positions, or we make do with Greenwood, for example, at right wing, so Daniel James, and strengthen other areas. But we can't just sort of be like, oh, much like Haaland, oh, darn, we couldn't get Haaland, so let's scramble together and find some. United need to be on the ball when it comes to getting good or decent, backup options, rather than focusing so much on one ideal player and then moving on. And Chris Mateague, so again, says money is not an excuse for this club, especially when the scum on the board get the huge pair of dividends. That is true. Well said, Sport. We need other hosts for. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying, is that every team does not necessarily get their first choice. We know this. But a lot of teams just don't go and get their first choice players, but they do have backups. They do scout for good backups, and they do make multiple deals, like Chelsea have done, etc. And I don't know why Manchester United cannot do that. Personally, I don't know why we were like with Haaland before in January, and then we had to scramble to get Igalo or Josh King. And you're like, you mean you couldn't have scouted a good second choice striker?
I get where you're coming from.
Why? So over to you, Tom. Sorry, I'm rambling, but I just don't get Manchester United's transfer for potentially the biggest club in the world. I don't get why, one, we can't do multiple deals at the same time, and two, why we can't scout for good backup options. I just don't understand.
Well, I think ultimately it comes down to who's running the football club, really. Like we said about a lot of top teams around the world and stuff. They have technical directors, they have sporting directors. Manchester United don't have one of them currently right now, and I think that's a problem with recruit. They're like the head of recruitment. They do like what Ed Woodward would be doing right now, negotiating with, say, Borussia Dortmund. But I think that the major hurdle in the deal that I don't think Man United expected to happen, was to have like a broker in the middle of negotiations, to have somebody who's in the middle, and it's this agent. And Borussia Dortmund, it's worked for them in other times where they've paid, they've got the money for the players and it's worked out well. But I don't think Man United are taking too kind this agent being involved, because because at the end of the day, negotiations have to happen between football clubs. There's nobody like in the middle, like an agent or anything. It happens between football clubs. So I think that's a problem at the moment with Man United. But I don't expect I wouldn't expect too much in the next couple of days, if I'm being honest. I think United are going to sit on this news, but I would expect some sort of a reaction out of Manchester United. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, because this is just going off of my own opinion. I've not heard this or anything. But I would expect, because I don't think Man United are going to sit down and be dictated by a club like Borussia Dortmund. Fair enough, they're quite a substantial club, but Man United are mega above them in terms of what they've done as a football club, massively above them. But I think down to this Jadon Sancho deal, and you asked me earlier, how do you think this deal, if it's going to happen, would get over the line? And you alluded to it earlier about maybe putting in a transfer request, but I think United would have to be banking on Jadon Sancho wanting to come to Manchester United that much. At the moment, it doesn't look. I'll say at the moment it doesn't look likely Jadon Sancho is going to put in a transfer request over the next couple of days. If he doesn't turn up for training, or there's some sort of he's put something on social media or something that's sent alarm bells ringing or something, then yeah, there might be something in the pipeline there. But just based off of what I actually know, Borussia Dortmund have basically told Manchester United, or told the agent to tell Man United in the circumstances, it's 120 million euros on our terms in terms of the structure of the deal. If you don't like it, then we're keeping the player and you can go elsewhere and look for players. But something that's been asked to myself with a couple of fans and stuff that I speak, because I speak to a couple of people about football and stuff on a daily basis, and they said to me, well, Tom, would you sooner sign one player for 120 million euros, or would you sooner sign 3 or 4 players in different positions for that amount of money? And this is what it comes down to at the moment is, do Man United go all in with Jadon Sancho? Because you spend 120 million euros on this player, you've got to think that's probably United's budget. That's them shutting up shop, shutting up the money bank, really. I don't think they'll sign anybody else if they do get this deal over the line. But I think it's a case of United are just take the back seat. They're reassessing the situation. It wouldn't surprise them if United are looking at alternative targets. Nothing's been confirmed as of yet. But if I do get an update on that, United are looking at alternative targets and names are getting tossed about, I can definitely update you on that. But I just think deals like this take time. It's a massive fee. It's a massive player. It's a record-breaking transfer for an English international, and it's a record-breaking transfer fee if Man United buy him. We look at how the Paul Pogba deal took, and that's our record transfer fee. That took ages, nearly down to the last week. And Juventus and Man United were playing hardball, so similar to this. And it was the same with Harry Maguire. United had, but I think it was Kaveh Solikov on Sky Sports. I'll actually shout him out for this. He made a good point. He said, Manchester United have said to Borussia Dortmund that what the fee of 120 million euros they're not prepared to pay, but they've not told Borussia Dortmund what they are prepared to pay for Jadon Sancho. And I think that's a major point, because then you can kind of meet in the middle, really. So it might just fall on Man United, really, in terms of how they're going to try and structure the deal, really. So say if Man United say, we're willing to pay, 90 million euros, and Dortmund are saying, we want 120 million. Then you can sort of meet in the middle at maybe, 115, maybe, something like that. So it gives you some sort of something to negotiate, really. But at the moment, there's been no official bid from United. There's not really any willingness for United to get this deal. As we say, talks are still ongoing and stuff. Negotiations are still happening. But it's a long process, because neither teams. It's a game of poker. It's a game of poker.
Sorry to interrupt you, Tom. So I'm just going to quickly read some of the comments, and obviously, I'm just bearing in mind that the time we've obviously man. We're going to be looking at the starting lineup in a second. But obviously, the breaking news really is about Jadon Sancho. But just reading some of your comments, guys, because I'm noticing a bit of a banter in the comments. So obviously, Average Joe, shout out to your buddy. It's a bunch of BS. Ian, if we get yes, I read that. Nisham Bummy says Greenwood, Rashford, Lingard out. I'm not really sure what you're talking about. Rasmus A, thank you. Shout out to Rasmus A, member of obviously Red Devil Studios. So, and if you are considering being a member, please click that join button. So consider supporting Old Man G here with our regular updates, Manchester United, to get some exclusive membership benefits, emojis, live streams, Q&As, discounts on Mech, etc. So please, that'd be great. Shout out to Erasmus. So what's this? Chris Matigan says the deal with Sancho is there to be done. I won't accept an excuse for it not to happen. I can't accept it being dragged on whilst being filled like a top class holding a midfielder. I agree. Sports Gossip says Ed Woodward wants player that gets the money from shirt sales. Well, Jadon Sancho would be that player.
Yeah, he would sell you. It would make you money.
He would be.
But you've got to spend money to get him.
What's this? Nesham, you had Di Maria, Lukaku, Sanchez, Daily Blind, and currently Pogba, Matic, Fred. Problem is Lingard, Green, and Rashford unsettled players. Them three out now. I'm not sure how.
I don't really get.
I'm not sure how accurate that sort of is really.
There's no news on Greenwood or Rashford leaving. There is a little bit on Jesse Lingard from maybe some Serie A clubs being interested at the moment, but nothing's been not like any clubs open negotiations or anything. People are just
team around Brandon Williams and McTominay, then we can attract. Okay, yeah, this guy's a troll. You can't tell me you build a team around. Sorry, mate. That was funny. You had me there. I thought you were talking seriously, but being on a team around Brandon and McTominay, no facts. If you're a United fan, I'd be very, very curious. But no, I mean that's nonsense. That's just nonsense. Just quickly, see, I'm done with average wannabe. Okay, scrolling down. Sorry, 2 seconds. What did they say? Chris Sieg. Resi, we will probably sign him near the end of the window, but this is why we should be trying to sign other players like top class holding midfielder. Exactly. If you were on the transfer show, Manchester United news show that I did on Saturday, I said that Idrissa Gueye at PSG, they're thinking of offloading Idrissa Gueye from PSG. They bought him for 30 million. I think of uploading for anywhere between 20 to 25 million. He's a good holding midfielder. Idrissa Gueye for 20, 25 million. He was obviously at Everton last year. That's a steal for me, you know? And like I've said, even if we weren't to get Sancho, if you told me that for the 120 million, you could get Idrissa Gueye, a right winger, maybe like a Zaha or possibly a Traore, you know, not the best, but at least better than what we have. And then you've got another forward for that 120 million. That for me still is worth it because you've strengthened 3 other positions with the same amount of money, you know? Yeah. So I believe speaking of second film, Coaster Child, if this 100% doesn't happen, I swear to God, the board cannot sack Ole as a scapegoat, not backing 100%. Sancho must sign, and I'm hopeful that it will get done. And Average Joe says, like that vid. Yes, please like that vid. I mean, it's as you said, Tom. I mean, I'm in 2 minds because at the end of the day, we got to remember that this is not a normal transfer window. And I have no doubt that if it was, if we didn't have this pandemic going on, that we probably would have gone for him. But Manchester United have lost millions, hundreds of millions right now during this thing. And we don't seem to be really, you know, as far as I'm aware, we're not in the process of trying to sell anybody. You know, so maybe if we sold 2 or 3 players to generate, let's say, 60 million, you could go okay, you know, fair enough, we could do it. But who are we really selling? Really, there's literally no one again this time that we're selling. Even though we should sell players, no one is really buying anything. You know, so you know, I just don't get it. So I'm going to let you speak to him. There's just more comments coming in. If Ole gets Sancho, he should walk. There's nothing blocking this move. Only Woodward and Co. Well. Unfortunately, Chris he's not going to. He's just not going to. Just like last season, we didn't get Bruno Fernandes. He's just not going to. He's not.
He's not that kind of player.
MS10, he will stay at our club. Don't be so sad. Grats von Dortmund. You got this. Well, shout out to the Dortmund fans in there. You know, so I take pride in the fact that, you know, at the end of the day, I do want this channel to be for everybody. This is a Manchester United fan channel, but if you're a Dortmund fan or Bayern fan or whatever fan you are watching this sort of content, please still subscribe. We do talk about other European other football teams in our Red Devil Live podcast. So, you know, give it a banter again. It is good to get a different perspective on here, and I don't think you're wrong. Multi MS10. I think he probably is going to stay. The only thing I would say is that it looks like he's probably not going to extend his contract. So that is something. But fair play, so fair play. Hopefully, you win the Bundesliga next time. We will see. Chris Mateague, didn't our board take out another 100 million loan a few months back? Also, we qualified Champions League, and they took their dividends. Yeah, you think that with the Champions League money, but even the Champions League money, you'd expect the Champions League money to be less this season, just given the lack of money from that. So it's not going to be as much. I just think, to be honest, if we're going to get Sancho this season, we need to sell players. We need to sell at least 2 players and generate, I would say, at least 60 million. You could probably get that from a Lingard sale. If you can get Lingard, like Roma, a Smalling out, so you sell Smalling for say 20 to 30 million, sell Lingard for 20 to 30 million, and then sell maybe Rojo, and then suddenly you maybe got 60 to 70 million that you can use to go to the Jadon Sancho deal. Live on Twitch, Boring Alex. Hey man, love the podcast. Thank you so much, Boring Alex. Really appreciate it. Shout out to everyone who's watching on Twitch. Love you guys. There's a lot of comments coming in. So sorry, I'm going to get you to speak again, Tom, before we wrap up, before the game starts, because we're going to go and show them the starting lineup. Go for Saul rather than Sancho for 120 million. Well, Saul obviously doesn't play. He's not a right winger. So he's another midfielder. The only thing, obviously, is that with our midfield, I would say it's more depth than actual starters. And is Saul going to want to stay on the bench if you're going to start with Walker and Bruno?
He's got a release clause of like over 100 million euros in his contract as well, because he recently signed a new contract like a year ago.
Exactly. So it's going to be tough. Coastal Child, also, if we look for a decent holding, then someone who is quite underrated and could cost between 21 and like is Luka Crystal Palace. Experience underrated does. That's true. Although I don't know how long his contract is at Crystal Palace. Because Premier League teams, we had to pay £50 million for Al Wan-Bissaka. So I suspect that Crystal Palace are not going to be too keen, especially if they lose Zaha, which seems this summer. So for me, like I said earlier in the stream, I would go for Idrissa Gueye from PSG because they wanted to offload him, and I don't think they're going to sell him for any more than, as you said, 20-25 million. And he's young as well, and he does a job. Back to Nisham, who seems to be out of timeout. Dortmund makes Sancho shine. At United, he would be Zaha or Welbeck. The thing is, I don't think that is inherently a troll comment. That isn't inherently as for like I'm not going to completely disagree with that comment for the simple reason that it is not uncommon for Bundesliga players to struggle in the Premier League. It's not. We obviously got Mkhitaryan, for example, as previously. Aubameyang is obviously a different exception. And
Naby
Keita. So there are. I can sort of get that, because if you're going to spend that amount of money and he comes and you find the Premier League, which is a different league, is much more physical and competitive, But don't hate on Zaha though. Zaha, I think, is actually a quality player. Sport Gossip, let's go and cover crisis rather get sold then okay. Rizzy Jr., I don't think we should sell anybody. Let's just be positive about this and hope that Edward will get this deal all done. I don't know, mate. I disagree. I think there are a few players that need to get sold because they're just not even involved in the first team or second team. Get rid of Phil Jones for a start. Anyone will take him. Smalling wants to leave, so you might as well sell him to Roma. Rojo wants to leave, you might as well sell him. Lingard may or may not, and if he's interested in Italy, he could go. Mata isn't really playing or contributing. He could probably go. So that's already 5 players that I think that haven't really contributed at all this season that could be offloaded. Dallo is a possibility, given that Ollie doesn't seem to rate him. So you could generate money there.
For sure.
Sport Gossip is right. Alex Sheehan says, "Hey man, love the podcast. Keep them, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for the positive feedback, guys. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Just want to keep on doing what I'm doing. And if you're new, remember to like and subscribe to Red Devil Studio, and please hit that like button on the video. We greatly appreciate it. I am going to share the starting lineup because we are going to be tuning out in a few minutes because Manchester United are due to play FC Copenhagen. I will be doing a watch along on Twitch. I'll be posting that link in the community section on this channel. So on my Twitter feed. So please get involved in our watch along where we're going to be watching FC Copenhagen versus Manchester United live on Twitch. Nisham says, what's the difference between Class 92 and likes of Brandon? Okay, right. Okay. That's definitely trolling. 92 and gender. You know, there is a very big difference between them. Very, very, very big difference. Very big. Also, Rashford and Greenwood came from the academy as well. So I don't get your point there. Resi, we have a bunch of average players we should sell. Multi, who's a Dortmund fan, I think you have the same problem like us. What do you mean in that sense? What do you mean? I see other comment. You have to bought Leroy Sané, but now he's at Munich. Now they're better than anyone else. I don't think Leroy Sané would have come to Manchester United, to be honest. No. I don't think he would have, although that would have been nice. He said, do you prefer Sancho, Rashford type? What's your issues? Arsenal was signing world-class African and French players, not average local lad. It can happen United.
Things like this make me laugh.
I don't get the
point. The point is because they're banging on about that they might be getting Gabriel, obviously the centre back from Lille. That's the whole point. But there's been nothing. The only club that have open talks with Lille currently right now for a deal for Gabriel is Napoli. I said that a couple of days ago. It's not changed. All this animosity around Arsenal fans of, Gabriel's coming and everything. Yeah, you might see it in the Sun newspaper or something that it might say it. Doesn't mean it's true. You know, I've heard about the Gabriel deal because obviously he's been linked with a lot of Premier League clubs, and with me working more on Premier League deals and players coming to the Premier League or going away from the Premier League, Gabriel is a player that is linked with Man United, is linked with Arsenal, and is linked with Everton. And out of the three clubs, neither of them are any closer than each other to getting the deal done. The closest club there is Napoli, and they were close to agreeing a fee with Leo of €30 million for him. So anything that gets said about Gabriel in the media or, you know, Zaha possibly going to Arsenal or anything, yeah, Zaha's a player out there for sale and everything, but Arsenal tried to get him last summer and, you know, they failed, and then they had to go and get Nicolas Pepe, which was the second option. So it's not really brand spanking new news. And maybe in like, and I don't know, he knows something that I don't know in a couple of hours. You know, Gabriel might mysteriously appear up on Arsenal's, you know, official page or something. But as of right now, Napoli's the closest team to him.
Fair enough. I agree, Tom. Andrew and Max, shout out to your buddy. Sancho or no Sancho, we will fight till the end with what we have. Love from India. I hope you're right. I really, really hope you're right. You know, so because we didn't have Sancho this year, and we still got top four, and hopefully we get a trophy. But we do need to improve. Team Takage one, who I know is an Arsenal fan. Looks like you have to wait another year, Tom and Old Man G. I know. Well, we'll see. We will see. We will see. Because I recall, if you go back to the first Red Devil Live podcast on this channel, a lot of Arsenal fans were gassed, were happy about their transfer window, and were definitely confident they were going to finish in the top four. And look what happened. So it is what it is. You know, we'll see what happens. Average Joe, stop reading a Red Devil Studio. To be honest, mate, I don't even mind because I actually like the banter. I actually like when rival fans things. I entertain the banter as long as it's not abusive, you know, verbal sort of stuff or anything that, you know, that is derogatory or racist or whatever. I actually don't mind it because if you're going to come and sort of, it's the individual's time that they're taking to say these things. And if you want the banter, it's fine because especially as United fans, whatever you say, we're in a much better situation than we are now than even Arsenal, if he's an Arsenal fan or whatever, you know. So if he's United, then no, fair enough. It's opinion, you know. So, but obviously, it's opinion that a lot of people disagree with. Resi Junior, Man United for the win tonight. I'm so glad Brian Fred on the starting lineup and enjoy the game, guys. Yes, we are gonna. And then obviously, if it's Freddie's take a chance now, I still think we need a top class Holman. You're right. I'm going to just quickly show the starting lineup, and then we're going to finish. And I will head over to Twitch, so please get involved. So this is obviously the starting lineup. Obviously, for those who don't know, but most people should probably know. Obviously, it's FC Copenhagen versus Manchester United. This is going to say a match preview. So, but it is it is sort of. Romero obviously is in goal. Wan-Bissaka, Eric Bailly, Maguire's captain, Williams, Pogba, Fred, Greenwood, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, and Martial in the squad. I think that is a very good squad, and certainly a good enough squad that can beat this FC Copenhagen side. Absolutely, you know, I'm as I said, I think was it yesterday? It was. I'm happy that Bailly is starting as a centre back. I'd like to see this partnership continue. Interesting to see what Fred will do, and hopefully he should be good enough, obviously, against Copenhagen. The front three takes care of itself. Bruno's back in the team, obviously, and it is what it is. So, are you happy with that team? Is everyone happy with the team comments? Tom, what are your thoughts on that team?
Yeah, like I said yesterday when we spoke about the team predictions and everything, if Romero didn't start the game, I think there's major questions of whether he would stay there and everything. And obviously, I dropped the hint about that Leeds United are actually interested in signing him, Marcelo Bielsa over there, the Argentinian link, and obviously they're needing a goalkeeper to maybe take over from Kike Casillas there. So I think it was crucial that Romero plays tonight. The Eric Bailly one, I said obviously I wouldn't be surprised if Lindelof got chucked in there, but I think, you know, Bailly and Maguire has been like pretty much the cut partnerships really, so I wouldn't have been much surprised there. I said that I don't think Matic would have played, but I did say McTominay, but Fred and McTominay, I think they're quite equal in their abilities. They're very similar players, but McTominay's this bigger and bruter more player than, whilst Fred's this more like small, energetic little player, a bit like a little Kante, should we say? Maybe not as good as Kante, but a little Kante. Whereas, you know, such as McTominay's like an Ndidi or something who'll just barge you off the ball or something. But no, I predicted the similar lineup to what you said and everything on the preview show and whatnot.
No, fair enough. So yeah, that's obviously a starting lineup. Chris Mateague says, happy with our front five, just need to feed them the ball and we should get goals. Yeah, I agree. It is obviously just one game. There's no legs, so it is just going to be literally this one game. So fingers crossed, we need to start quick, and hopefully with the fact that there's not really a lot of pressure in terms of trying to qualify for Champions League, you know, that these guys can play, express themselves, and really go out and win. So thanks everyone for watching and getting involved. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. I will be heading over to do a live watch along of this game. So watching along in my sort of background here, watching along and reacting to this Manchester United versus Copenhagen. So please get involved. Have a nice day, everyone. Thanks again to Transfer Tom, who will be giving us more transfer updates in the future. Not just Manchester United transfer updates, but transfer updates from across the Premier League and beyond. Take care, Transfer Tom. Really appreciate you coming on the stream.
Yeah, thanks for having me and everything, G. And yeah, like I say, be coming on possibly in the future and whatnot and reporting more.
Cool, man. Take care, everyone.